Ahoy! We are checking out Based Camp. I've seen some of their stuff, but not super familiar with them. I know they got cameoed in Skybrow's stuff as well, which is where I first heard about them. I think Leaflet was on there recently, but yeah, this is their one of their newer ones. VTubers have transformed the right forever. The nerdification of the right. So let's go ahead and check out what we got here.
Hello, Simone. I'm excited to be here with you today. Today we're going to be talking about an interesting phenomenon that came from a viral moment that Asmongold got himself into.
What?
Asmongold was, I think, reacting to a tweet, and the tweet said something like, "There is no point to male VTubers."
He was trolling a little bit, but yeah.
Said, this is true. And then he went further, which is to say the key benefit of VTubing for women is, he said, it's like this crazy hack that they found out where you can be a hot woman without having to be a hot woman. And then he said the thing that was controversial, but many female VTubers have reacted to this and been like, but this isn't controversial, it's just true. What she said is, if you look at not hot female influencers, the vast majority of them are VTubers.
Yes.
To the extent that almost all of them are VTubers.
Yes.
Right? To be clear.
Successful.
Not saying that VTubers are predominantly unattractive. I actually do not think that this is the case. I think that they're well more attractive than the average person. Like, they're real people are more attractive than the average person. But we lived in an era where women who were, let's say, top 25%, but not top 10% of attractiveness, were frozen out of being able to start to rise as intellectual influencers. And this doesn't just have to do with genetics. It was also really any woman who was over the age of 25 was frozen out of being able to rise as an intellectual influencer because...
What the fuck? The great deceivers, Judaism, star of the pyramids, Freemasonry. Bro, I guess I'm gonna need a bot or mods over there on Rumble too. That's wild. Thanks for stopping by, Super Hybrid Brain. Appreciate the contribution.
Men think younger women are attractive, generally speaking, and it's worse than...
Okay, that's not a bad idea. Okay, we will throw up this. But yeah, I just got auto ducking on today, but I was told it was a little harsh, so I might tune that. I thought I tuned it a little bit, but I'll do it more off stream. Anyway, let's go.
Because even if a woman is in the top 5% of attractiveness, but she is shy or she is insecure and doesn't want people criticizing
I know, Duck.
That is a normal thing for conservatives to do, to immediately go after a woman's looks if they don't like her ideas. She would not attempt to rise. And VTubers, as a concept, allowing this completely transformed that.
How would you know?
I will say that was a weird focus on the female VTubers, considering that was mostly about male VTubers, but is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I think if we're just talking the advantages of VTubers, clearly being able to provide a more appealing female model is going to be more of an advantage than being able to provide an appealing male model. We've talked about that before, so that's 100% correct. But there are definitely benefits, and I'm sure we'll get into it. So I'm not gonna jump ahead of them here. But there are, so yeah, whether or not you get as many advantages as a female VTuber as would if you're a male VTuber, there are still plenty of advantages to being a male VTuber, and it is not pointless. Like, it's not useless. And Asmon was trolling somewhat. He had VTubers as his mods, male VTubers, so he was trolling somewhat. But it is an interesting discussion to have. Anyway, let's continue.
Aren't most VTubers good at concealing their identity?
There's leaks all the time.
Can you put like images on screens of like the person next to their VTuber persona, or just give me their name so I can do it and then give it to you?
No. We're not going to do that.
Yeah, let's dox everyone.
Leaks are typically unintentional, and that's mean.
Oh, okay. I just I mean, are you saying like non-Instagram filter ugly, or do you mean like?
Well, this is where we're getting to the point. The point I wanted to talk about.
Do they look like me? Because, you know, there's like Thought Hot and then...
But the point I was going to make was that this phenomenon that he is pointing out has actually completely changed the online conversation in the internet right. Changed the tone of it. it has changed the factions that are ideologically winning within it. And I
Really?
want to go into how this happened.
Hey.
Like how
Interesting, because at first I was like, that doesn't seem accurate, but like the more I'm thinking of it, like, yeah, no, maybe I don't know. We'll hear him out. That is really interesting.
things are changing because of VTubers, and it comes fundamentally down to Asmongold's observation. So to not extract too much, if you go back and we go to the pre-VTubing days of the online right, so we've got to first talk about a bit about the online right. We have one history on how the online right evolved from edgy atheists, which is weird, but it did. It originally started as the skeptic community, if you go back to like when I was a kid, right? And some online YouTubers, like literally you see their career evolve through each of these phases of the online right. Back then, it was not right-leaning at all.
Yep.
These people got tired of dunking on Christians because really there weren't
Dude, the skeptics were so frickin' painful.
that much of them, and the arguments, they weren't as fun. Like the gotchas weren't as fun. It was much more fun to dunk on feminists, right? And then dunking on feminists turned into dunking on wokeness, which then sorted its way into the Gamergate and all of that. And then
Gamergate mentioned, interesting.
Online right now, right? And we point out that this
Internet blood sports, yeah.
Up the new right. Ideologically, this group is obviously going to crash with the legacy right, because this is a community that has, like most of our crusades, as the movement was being radicalized into a right-wing movement.
We just wanted to play games, totally.
Decensoring sexy female video game characters and stuff like that, right? Like, arguing against bad faith, against too much violence online and stuff like that, which really is completely
nice, Angry Duck
perspective of a lot of the legacy right, which was like, we need to ban rap music, it's too violent, and ban GTA, and so this is where part of the right's inversion came from. But during this period, you did not have that many female influencers within this movement.
There were a fair few, but no, that's fair. But we still don't, like, again, like it is interesting because I don't know where this is going, but I'm just trying to sort through it. But like, I guess we have more, and I guess what we're getting at is that VTubing lets that happen or whatever. We'll see where this argument is going. Yeah, I mean, Shu was big back then too, and she's not right, but she's she's correct on a lot of things and knows a bunch of the issues, so it kind of is lumped in with some of that. But yeah, and then we had other female video gamers and stuff back then as well. But yeah, it was largely male, but there were definitely females as well.
With the probably biggest female influencer in this movement being a socialist. And here I'm speaking, of course, of Shoe on Head.
Shoe on Head.
Often lumped in as part of this larger ideological movement by her detractors, when she is just solidly leftist, like, and really like tries to remind people, like,
there's a very big difference between like semi-sane leftist and far left cultist ideologue. But yes, because there are the other leftists I respect, and again, like, anyone who's willing to engage in good faith, I will respect, even if I disagree with them. Like, if they're actually being honest and not trying to fucking destroy my entire life because they're anti-societal weirdos, I can get along with them at least. And she was not an anti-societal weirdo, even if I don't agree with all her takes.
Look, I know I said this Trump policy was reasonable. I'm still a socialist. I'm just trying to be sane here, people. Like, I don't.
And a Catholic socialist too. She made it very clear she was a practicing Catholic again recently.
Yeah, she did say she's a practicing Catholic. So Catholic and socialist. Can you get more leftist? Sorry, I know I'm just saying here to laugh at me. I'm joking. For people who don't know, traditionally the Democratic Party was seen as the Catholic Party.
Yes, I'm clearly going to need mods over on Rumble, or again, I'll put a bot over there or something. I didn't realize there was this much spam. How many viewers do we have on Rumble anyway? Why are we getting this? I mean, not that you need viewers to get spam, but yeah, we only have 3 viewers, and I guess a bunch of them are spam bots. I don't know if they even count as viewers. Anyway, but yeah, it's helping you deal with anxiety yourself. Yeah, we'll get into it more once they talk about the advantages and disadvantages or whatever of VTubing, I'm sure. But yeah, it is there like I said, there are advantages, and some of it does just come down to, because yeah, I don't know if we'll get into exactly Asman's statements, but he said there's no reason, because he was just focusing on like the advantage of having the model itself, but not taking into account like how that affects the person streaming. Like, I don't think I would be as entertaining or as engaging or as like active as I am if I weren't behind the model. And I have face cammed before, not on this channel, not on this identity, but I have face cammed and was still entertaining, and people enjoyed me and stuff. But I think like it changes how you behave and who you are, which is not to say that I'm fake. Again, I always pride myself on being genuine. I'm not doing a bit. It is a 1 hour long video, yes, which I don't usually do, but this was very interesting and on point. But yeah, so and again, because you don't have as much, like when you're face camming, you can project your personality through your face, like facial expressions. When you don't have that, you kind of do have to be more, pardon the pun, animated. So being a VTuber, in this case a PNG GIF tuber, whatever, you have to really project like it, so it forces you to be more engaged, and I think that is interesting. So again, it does change your content, and I think it can make your content better. It's an interesting thing. But again, my VTuber content and my face cam content is different feeling. It's different feeling behind the mic / camera. It's it definitely projects differently. So yeah, Asman talking about there being no advantages for males to VTube was again, it was partly in joke, but it was dead wrong, because he was only looking at like the physicality of the model, and that's not the only thing to take into account. You honestly had just had opinions you didn't feel comfortable saying out loud and felt like had to fake it more, not using an avatar. There's that, yes. And again, the anonymity is very important as well. That was also something Asman didn't want to address, because he said that you can just not have a avatar at all, which does affect viewer engagement. Like, you're just not going to be, people aren't going to empathize with it as much if you don't have some sort of something there to represent your personality, whether that's a VTuber, a face cam, or a again, PNG or GIF. You've never liked being on camera, and you rarely take photos. Exactly. There are very few photos of me. Anyway, let's continue here. But yeah, no, VTubing is very, like, people act like it's just the same. VTubing is very different than face camming.
Come on, Kennedy, our first Catholic president. Yeah.
Well, Joe Biden.
Catholic. Yeah, totally.
And not just that, but if you look at voting lines historically, they were really tied to the percent Catholic a district was. Even today, if you look at U.S. states and districts by percent Catholic. Now, this isn't to say that Catholics overwhelmingly vote Democrat anymore. I think in the last election was the first election where they voted conservative overwhelmingly. Or not overwhelmingly, by a small margin, but yeah. But to continue here, I don't want to get on too much of it. But the few influencers we did have in the right who were women had the #1 hallmark of beauty.
Hey, Gob.
A lot of people are like,
Hatter, hi.
This reminds me of a time I went with Simone. And she doesn't believe me, because I'm like, Simone, you're actually extremely attractive for your age. And many of the times when you think someone is more attractive than you, they are just younger. And the night where I think I really broke you on this is we were at a club, and you had to have an X on your hand if you were under drinking age. And I was like, look around the club and find anyone you think is more attractive than you, and then check if they have an X on their hand. And so you'd look around, and every single time they had an X on their hand. Like, they weren't just a little bit younger than you. They were significantly younger than you.
Yeah, there was also that time we were sharing a table at a dinner, like at a restaurant, and there were 3 people sitting right next to us, and I thought that they were a group of friends and like just 2 less attractive ones and then one attractive woman. And
Yeah.
it just turned out that it was parents and their teenage daughter, and I thought she was like 25, but no.
Yeah, Gen Z looks old these
They
days.
look
too. They
old.
just
Yeah,
look-
she was like 16 years old, and I thought she was like, God.
and you know,
Y'all
you as a
okay?
girl saying this, imagine I as a guy said this about a girl.
Yep.
I saw a girl, didn't realize she was 16 and thought she was hot. No, but it's actually, this is, guys get in trouble for like the dumbest stuff. You can't tell somebody's age really just by looking
Yeah,
at
I
them.
guess some people kind of can. There's a not to okay, we're gonna get right back on track after this. but
Yeah,
there's
let's
this
talk
reality
VTubers.
TV
Come
show
on.
I think Netflix recently produced where people date, but they're not allowed to say
That's
how
brutal.
old they are, and then they end up coupling, and then they reveal their age. And there are some people who are very easy to guess, and other people where it's like, nope, he was 60. So yeah, it's really difficult. It's really
That
difficult.
is wild. Okay. Well, I think our ages are hard to guess for people. I think a
Ooh,
lot of our fans
Chime in
just-
the comments. Chime in the
Yeah,
comments.
chime
What's
in.
your guess?
What's your guess? And then you can Google it. But I think our
Yeah, it's on
fans
our Wikipedia page. Yeah.
probably get our ages wrong by they might get it from context clues because I'll talk about like shows from my childhood or something like that.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, Malcolm, you're not old enough to have watched those shows.
Well, and if you're aware that like there were online atheists, for example, I feel like that's kind of a tell.
Oh yeah, I started giving that away with that community because
Mhm,
that's quite an
mhm.
old community, the internet skeptic community.
Yeah,
Um,
seriously, that super ages you. Anyway, I'm curious.
Wait.
Anyway,
Yes,
back
I've
on-
already said I'm old too,
Okay.
but yeah. Wait,
so
no-
women-
all right.
women-
All right. Let me see if I can find that. We'll let it play, but I am gonna look up their ages.
big community of like internet edgy kids online who would go in to like argue with random Christians. But no, so what this meant is that the
Nope, that's not
women
it.
who rose in terms of mental space within the conservative influencer scene historically have been very, very young. A good example of this is somebody like Pearl Davis. Pearl Davis was, I want to say like
very early
16
20s when she started. Yeah, well, I mean, she'd been trying for a long time, but yeah, when she got big,
when
she
she
was early.
started
20s.
growing.
You're guessing 41 and 44. That's possible. Yes. Close. Yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking too. But yeah, they're both right around 40. It looks like she's like a year younger, so he is 39 or 40 because it depends on. Yeah, it just says 86 and 87. So he is 39 or 40 depending on the month, and she is 38 or 39. So yeah, they're both right around 40. That's kind of what I was guessing too. That tracks. That tracks. He really does, just because of the face structure and stuff. Like again, it gives it away because of how he talks, but I think he looks younger.
But yeah, she's very, very, very young. And Sean Head too. When Sean Head grew, she was very young.
Yeah.
Yeah. She must have been like but she's been around for a long time. But like when she
Mhm.
started to gain in popularity, I want to say she must have been 18, 19, something like that.
Well, and Jenny Nicholson was in her early 20s, I think, when she first started getting.
Yeah, but Jenny
big.
Nicholson is not right wing. Jenny Nicholson
Oh,
complains.
we're talking about right-wing women. Oh, I
yeah,
don't
right
know.
wing.
But still, Brett Cooper, young. Like
Yeah, Brett Cooper was fairly
definitely-
young. Yeah.
There's that other blonde, Beth Allie Stuckley or whatever. Yeah, she was also
The
young.
only right wing.
It also helps, and maybe this is what they're going to get to, is that the age difference plays a part here. So getting rid of that attractiveness bias lets you get older people in, which is going to give you a different perspective and probably more based. So that's actually wild to think about, if the VTuber hack is letting older women in to share their opinion, because again, women will have an advantage just because they're fucking simps, male simps. So however you feel about it, there is always going to need to be female thought leaders as well. So if you're just going off the simps and they're judging based on attractiveness, younger women are going to be more attractive, obviously, as we're discussing here. So they're also more easily programmed and haven't had the life experience to make up as much of their own opinions. This is really interesting, actually. So if you can't bypass that, you're only going to get like 18 or 19-year-old thought leaders, which is fucking worse than useless, counterproductive. You're getting the people who have not had the life experience. Like, young people just cannot be. So if you're linking conservative with like traditionalism or something like that, younger people are much less likely to be able to actually articulate that argument. So you're going to have people who are just playing it more easily to be led, more easy to look at it as a job or something. You get these attractive young women in thought leader positions, but they're not actually the ones doing it. You've got someone running them, stuff like that. If you can bypass that and get like 40-year-old women in with VTuber models, you've completely changed the ideological landscape. That's actually really fascinating. I hadn't thought of it in the age terms. Hags are in demand. Yes. This is actually fascinating. I wonder if they're going to get to this point too. I mean, that's kind of what they're talking about already. They just haven't articulated it, but that's absolutely freaking fascinating. Oh my God. Yes. I hadn't thought of the age difference when we're talking VTubers versus, IRL. 3D women. This is crazy.
I can think of who isn't young and is big within online spaces. It's that one who at Hereticon, she introduced us.
Oh, the comedian. Yeah.
God, what's her name?
We're so bad with names. And she's so cool. I was just watching one of her videos. Oh well. We suck.
See if you can find it, send it to me, because I like her content, and
yes,
I actually recommend it to people who like our content. I think she's very
thought leader, and yes, that did get moderated. Again, I cannot control that, unfortunately. I have moderation set to 0. It still doesn't like thought, I guess. So there you go. But yeah, I saw it. Again, my third-party programs catch it often before it gets yoinked. Nicola's, yours just got yeeted as well. It really does not like thought. I can see it. Chat can see, stream can see it because it pops up there. But yeah, it's not in YouTube chat. That's hilarious.
very similar in theming, editing, length.
In my watch history.
Ooh, build a thought tower.
And also, she's someone who I wouldn't consider.
That's one we haven't done yet.
Beautiful woman who has risen within.
No, she's pretty. What's wrong?
She's attractive. She's certainly like a normal, but she looks like her age.
Oh, she's not 25. Mom. Yeah, I mean, like, she probably looks like younger than her age. Who knows how old she actually is?
But the point I'm making here is, for a long time in conservative spaces, women are already at a lower level within conservative spaces. And any woman who was, one, not young, and keep in mind what young often means. It means that you're often overly impressionable.
Yep.
Like you haven't had time.
Dude, am I good or what?
Your own ideas
yep.
Yet. So you often end up parroting the ideas that you hear around you.
Yep.
So like an example of this, right? Like I really like Pearl Davis as a person. I like a lot of her content.
And by what it's British, it's Bridget Fetisy.
Bridget Fetisy.
Asy.
But yeah, so I like Pearl Davis, but I think anyone who is examining Pearl Davis's intellectual career with honesty would say that in the beginning of her career, many of her ideas were basically the ideas that were around her in sort of like the intellectual, edgy, right-leaning circles. But she was young. You know, this is what you expect from a guy or a girl who is at that age, right? Mm-hmm. But guys in the conservative scene have been able to become influencers at any age.
Yep.
Whereas girls, we were selecting for only the young girls. So they weren't really bringing...
This is fascinating. And I love when you get hit with like a blind spot. I like anyone who's been paying any attention has seen that there are these young, attractive female influencers on the conservative space. I mean, there are some in the liberal leftist space as well. But it's not quite the same because they don't value it as much. But it's very interesting because, again, we all saw that, but I hadn't really thought about like what that means and what sort of selection bias is going on there.
In a unique female
and the trickle down effects,
right? Second, they're not as intellectually developed,
mm-hmm.
and they haven't had as much time to basically cook ideas.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
But the reality is that if you are online and watching stuff in a traditional context, guys don't click on videos that 45-year-old women make. Okay?
Yeah.
You just don't. You see a 45-year-old woman most of the time, and you're just going to be like, Probably not. Like that's not like you see a hot young girl with some edgy take, and you're like, okay, yeah.
That's because a lot of conservative women end up becoming trad wives and take themselves out of the market due to parenting priorities. No. Like that can be a part of it, but again, we are already massively biasing due to attractiveness and youth. So it's not that they're taking themselves out. It's because men date younger. No, it's because that younger women are attractive, as we were going over in the beginning here, and that is valued. So if the audience is a male audience, that the younger women are going to be much more powerful. So yeah, no, it's not that they're taking themselves out of the equation, because there are still like trads that do that, have children and still do the jobs and everything. Like there are trad influencers and everything like that. Many of them are fake, but that's a different topic. But yeah, it's literally just the bias towards youth that's going on here. Like you'd have the exact same issues even if those trad wives were not like taking themselves out of the equation there, because you'd still be selecting for the exact same issues and you'd have some of the same problems there. So yeah, you might have some more young based women, but again, as we were discussing, largely they're not going to be able to like actually formulate those opinions at that point anyway. You are going to want to listen to more older people, generally speaking. Like, I'm not saying young people can't have good ideas or anything like that, but they just don't have the life experience to back it up. And that's especially important in like a more conservative scene, because if you're actually trying to conserve something, you do need a more knowledgeable background. You need that life experience. Or not, like, you don't even need a whole lot of life experience. Like your own life doesn't even have to be interesting. You just have to have been around long enough to kind of see the societal shifts and know what you're talking about. Like if you weren't around to experience a lot of that, you're not going to have the full framework to make an argument about what is wrong and why we need to like rein this back big time. So yeah, like young people just aren't. It's changing a little bit because things are so wild, but by and large, young people just are not as likely to know the problems and realize the solutions and how to avoid continuing those problems as older people are.
I'll see what she has to say. And so, and this is even talking about people with the genetics to look hot, right? Like not being born in the top, and a lot of guys know how hard this is, right? Like being looked over by such a huge percentage of women, right? But a lot of guys, they're like, look, it's not my fault that I was born short. It's not my fault that I was born looking like this. Mm-hmm. It doesn't influence my morals. It doesn't influence my character. I mean, your genes do influence all that, and some of that stuff can be seen through sort of like phrenology and on your face. And okay, yes. Watch our episode. Phrenology is back, baby. But
let's go.
But this is like AI. It's look at your face and tell your personality like incredibly accurately.
Yeah. Well, even your political leanings.
Interesting.
Yeah. But it's not these. So when I say this, like, it's a huge chunk, like 95% of women got filtered out of the ability to intellectually participate or have their ideas taken seriously in the wider conservative scene.
Yep. Yeah. And like I was saying, it's the ones you'd probably be most beneficial. It would be most beneficial to listen to those ones that are getting filtered out. You've always been a 6 to 7, 5'10", but never cried about looks or height. Yeah. Again, I've said before, I think I'm above average attractiveness and above average height. But yeah, I'm lucky that is what it is. But I don't know. I just kind of do my own thing. But yeah, I mean, I guess I definitely do have advantages just by not being shorter or uglier or anything like that. Not that a 6 or a 7 is ugly. But yeah, so I got it good, but that it is crazy. It is crazy because I kind of want to underplay it just because it's like, oh, whatever. I don't really take advantage of it. I'm not a player or anything like that. But yeah, physical attractiveness and height and stuff does play way more into it than you want, than you want to admit, even in just like regular everyday activities. And with people that you're not like looking to date or something like that, like your overall appearance affects so much in so many ways, even not when engaging with the opposite sex, even not when engaging with people in your age group in the opposite sex that are like potential dating partners or anything like that. Like, it's pretty crazy. Your issue has always been a compatibility issue with the women who come your way. Yes, that's a huge issue.
And then something happened. People have been putting themselves to models
Halo effect.
for ages, right? But some geniuses had the idea of making the models that they were putting themselves.
Ironically, tubing might have done more to equalize the weight of women's voices and opinions than anything else has so far. Yes, I like again, I'm just coming to this tonight. I hadn't really realized exactly that, but like, yeah, like this, like unprecedented in all of human history when you're thinking about it. Honestly, you used to be fat, then you got skinny and was hot for like 10 years, then you got fat again. Life is completely different. Yeah. Now I'm getting skinny again, thankfully. Good for you. Keep it up. But yeah, no, it's wild. And like I was saying, I didn't realize, like, I knew there are based VTubers and all that. Obviously, I am one, but I didn't realize that one of the things is that it's letting that female voice, which again is necessary just for balance and just for targeting a different audience. Like you do need female influencers in a space because someone has to appeal to the simps. So if you, and simps and just people who appreciate that sort of thing, like they don't even have to be full simps. Cause again, I shit talk simps or whatever, but I'm talking simps, I'm talking pseudo simps, I'm talking partial simps, all that stuff. Anyone who wants, and it's understandable. Like, of course, people want to look at and interact with attractive females. Straight men want to look at and interact with attractive females, obviously. So if you can hack that and put older females into that position, that's a massive fucking win for conservatism. And I hadn't thought about it in those terms. I hadn't thought about it in the age term. So again, I'm really glad I clicked on this video. There's just very interesting stuff to think about here.
Themselves to hot anime girls. And this was really the hack that blew the doors open, where now, and you actually see this. So if you look into leading conservative intellectual influencer women, I'd say most of them seem to be between like 32 and like 48 seems to be the age range.
Nice.
Which is a lot older than a lot of people think that they are, right? Because they associate anime with youth, but they have been able to, and I'll note that this is also the age of their effing audience, right? Like Kirsha's audience is guys in their 30s, okay? I bet you anything. I do not think, for example, Kirsha has a giant youthful audience, right?
I want to see your metrics now, because I think it probably does skew older like he's talking about. I think he's probably correct, but I'm sure there's a good chunk of younger guys there too. Because again, we were talking about like the youth not being super educated or whatever, but again, there are a lot of based youngsters nowadays. Like, because society has gone so far off the rails, a lot of younger people are also realizing the issues now sooner than they would have in the past, because things have been so fucked. And we've had numerous things that also did this. I've talked about it before. But yeah, we've had multiple cultural shakeups, which are very important, because it gets those people involved. Like, we've had Gamergate. People, spoke out about Gamergate in a positive or neutral sense and maybe lost friends over it or something. Like, because this was the wake up call for a lot of people on just how psychotic the cultist far left was. Same deal with Trump. So yeah, we had 2013, 2014, we had 2015, 2016, Trump won. We had we then had COVID in 2020, of course. Like there were just a bunch of societal shakeups that are making the youth more based than they used to be, more aware. Like we're hitting people with these big events that are changing how the young people see things. So it's not as true as it was. So point is, back to the Kirsha thing, I would not be surprised if she does also have a lot of younger people. I think he's right that it's going to skew older. There are going to be a lot of 30 and 40-year-old people there, yes, but you are also going to have like the 15-year-olds and the 20-year-olds and the 25-year-olds and stuff like that.
And they'll often reveal this on stream if you watch them, right? You know, they'll call themselves like mom. Actually, I think that this has led to there's been a huge explosion in the attraction to older women phenomenon among like Gen Z, like being into cougars. And I think a lot of it comes down to getting really into VTubers and then learning the VTubers' real age.
I don't know if I agree with that one. And hey, Affinity, how's it going?
And many VTubers lean into this. Like one I watched that has like a cockroach girl avatar. I haven't watched many. I've watched like 2 streams.
Cockroach girl or
what?
Cute?
Gen Z just trying to get sex.
Yeah, cute. They're always cute.
You're kind of wearing a cockroach vest, honestly. With
Yeah,
all the
right.
antenna on it. Just let me take those off for the love of God. Anyway, though.
But she leans into the whole mommy thing.
Wow.
Like audiences that are, I guess, into that.
Matara.
For hundreds of years,
Yeah, I think we saw a cameo of her in one of the videos too.
Sexually inaugurated by mature women. This is not new.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Well, what is new is I don't ever think so many young men had parasocial and intellectually admiring relationships.
Yeah, with older women. That is true.
When I grew up,
maybe if we're talking scale, but this was always a thing. Like way back when. As a 40-year-old woman, I find this hilarious. Are you a cute anime girl though? That's the question we need to answer if we're going to take you seriously or not. Because yeah.
There were
this is a very interesting discussion.
Bill Nye-like figure, right? But you didn't have an equivalent female figure, right? Like,
well, most older age mentorship is same sex within religions and even just in mainstream culture with like Big Brothers, Big Sisters programs.
But female hosts who, like when I was growing up, they might be paired with a 30, 40-year-old guy, but the female host was typically late 20s to early 20s. And I think people didn't realize that that's what they were saying.
You're Fox girl.
And this has a lot of effects
got him.
The entire community. First effect that it has.
Based.
Well, and also I'll note here, when this really exploded, I think, into the mainstream conservative scene was the Anna Valens controversy, which we did some really interesting episodes on. This was a woman who decided that she was going to counsel Kirsha and Leaflet, and it blew up on her. And
yeah, anal violence.
Conservative scene was.
Sorry, I gotta go back a little bit more.
Lot of effects on the entire community. First effect that it has is that. Well, and also I'll note here, when this really exploded, I think, into the mainstream conservative scene was the Anna Valens controversy, which we did some really interesting episodes on. This was a woman who decided that she was going to counsel.
What? I'm sorry, what did you call Mr. Violence? What? Please do not misgender Mr. Violence.
Leaflet, and it blew up on her, and she had the most crazy life. Like, she has a detailed Substack about her life that we go over in the Life of a Cenobite episode, and it's like, wow, like this is not like what's going on here, right? But the point being,
yes,
is that,
dude, that's another good point. Like all the female influencers on the leftist side, they got penises. They got penises. Not a woman.
Well, hold on. Before I get to this point, I do want to point out this hack of hot female avatar really opening the stage to the types of people who can influence the space. Arguably, the number one VTuber, I think HoloLive is bigger right now.
Oh God, Neurochama. Okay, I like Neuro. I like Neuro, but I'm glad that the project is successful. But being bigger than all the actual people is kind of creepy. Gotta say, gross. Yes, it is very gross. The trans stuff. But yeah, no. Well, there are a lot of trans on the left. Yes, it's an interesting thing. Neurochama, yeah. Yeah, it always gets Kirsha wrong. Too mainstream now.
And Neurochama is an AI anime girl child who's run by a guy. One of the
run by a turtle. Get it right.
Archetype VTubers in the online right space.
No, come on, bro. This. You think Neuro's popularity is novelty? Yeah. The left have this idea of all men until no men. Here we go, Rev. Let's go. Come on, man. Come on. Don't do him like that. Yes, his model is, I guess, technically female. I didn't realize that for a while. I knew it was very feminine, but he kept claiming it was a femboy, but I guess it is actually a female model. It doesn't come up like I hate to use the leftist term, but he's male presenting. He is not a female. He's not a female VTuber.
Archetype VTubers in the
He's clearly a guy. Yeah.
Is Rev says Desu.
Oh my God.
A guy.
Dude, I like these guys, and there have been very good things coming up, like good discussions. I love this discussion, but this is just so off base. It's a trap. I don't know if you mean this argument that they're doing, like maybe he turns around, but he seems to be genuine here, like saying that Rev is a female archetype. You don't care what avatar Rev uses, you'll listen anyway. Yeah, Rev is a female avatar. He doesn't pretend to be female. Yeah, covers that about Rev. Okay.
By the way, people have asked why he does a little vampire girl as his character. He's like, because that's something I like to look at, right?
Yeah. But I like a lot of guys play
not trans, yep,
avatars in games because
I
want to look at a dude.
Female avatars in video games, like hugely prefer to play female avatars in video games because I don't want to look at some burly guy for 20 hours. I find that off-putting.
What just disturbs me about him so much is that his voice sounds way too much like the voice of the guy in Clownfish TV, and so I just confuse them. And
Simone has a conspiracy that Clownfish TV and Rev says Desu is the same guy.
They're definitely different. No, I believed it for a while. I listened enough to be like, nah, they're slightly different, but they're too close for me. It just still throws me off. Now I can't listen to either of them. Just sad.
Yeah. Also, by the way, Clownfish TV, just to put a mark on another conservative influencer channel, is quite interesting to me in that one, they're one of the only other like good relationship couples I know that do channels together other than us. Two, they live in Pennsylvania, so I would love to collab with them at some point.
Oh my God.
But they live near
go to a theme park with them.
They live near Pittsburgh, so that's like on the other side of the moon.
There are others, they're not as big though, but yeah.
In Pennsylvania terms. But the other interesting thing is they've sort of risen more recently, and they represent, again, I think, a faction of conservatism that just didn't exist before. Like they're new on the.
See you, Pedro.
I don't even think that they admit that.
This guy sounds like the embodiment of the nerd emoji. Again, I like him, but yeah, no, it is a little much.
Are Republicans yet? Like recently, he's like, "Well, I'm not going to talk about what my politics are," because I think he's still, and they talk about seeing themselves as like hardcore Democrats, even if you go like 10 years ago, right? So they definitely are part of like this new faction. But anyway, I wanted to point that out, that this hack isn't just available to women, and we don't even know how many of these VTubers.
But no, but it's not, again, like Asman was right. It's not really a hack when it comes to men, because you can succeed as an ugly man. Like he was right about that. Again, there was a lot of shit posting there, but he's right on that one. like, so yeah, I like, it's not being, again, there, I was defending earlier that there are many uses to being a male VTuber. Like, it's not useless, like Asmund was saying. But it's also not a hack. It's a tool you can use, but it's not a hack in the same way that it is for women. Like, Asmund was right about that.
Are like, if they haven't had an accidental face reveal, how many of them are men using voice changers? So that's also an important thing to keep
Well,
in
but what about the, as Shiwanhead puts it, the blue Jew? Nux. He's not a hot anime girl.
That's funny you mentioned that earlier. Yep, Nux mentioned.
Oh, he is not a hot anime girl, and I don't.
The blue Jew N
Anime girl.
Oh, he is not a hot anime girl, and I don't think he needs his avatar. But what I have heard is Nux, when he doesn't use his avatar, is not as bold or as aggressive or as jocular. You know, like, his character is like super in your face, and I think that
so kind of puts him in character. Yeah, like, it's good. It's necessary for him as a psychological mechanism, not the audience.
Yeah. And that's the point I was making too. Like, it is useful to produce content.
Another thing to note that helped women get into VTubing is that otherwise wouldn't have had their
Red Jew
is girls are shyer than guys are on average. They are more sensitive to public judgment, and people judge girls on their looks very aggressively.
Well, and it hurts them more.
And it hurts them psychologically more.
Yeah.
So even girls who otherwise would come across as perfectly fine, right? Like, maybe even in the top 5-10% of women, right? That they can still be filtered out because they psychologically cannot deal with the heat of being in front of people.
Yeah.
Leaflet probably falls into this category. She's a very, like, if you see her streams, she's somebody who really lets things get to her. I think a lot more than, like, as somebody who considers her a friend, than I would like her to, right? But I could see her being
understandable
about a bunch of people constantly judging her. Right?
Yes, and we've seen that with her like dramatic changes when things have been going on, like when people have been attacking her and stuff like that. Like, Leaf is one of my favorite people on the internet, but we've definitely seen that pattern, and I wish it wasn't that way, because it clearly hurts her, but it's definitely very interesting to see as an observer. And it can lead to some pretty hilarious results too, because she gets pretty damn based sometimes when she's hurt. But yeah, she does clearly let things get to her.
And being able to put on a mask every time you get on screen, as Asmongold said, it's like makeup, but like up to 11, right? You know, helps her interact with the community without needing to worry about.
Yeah, big introvert again. Like, yeah, me as well. Yeah, no, it's interesting
about judgment of anything other than her character and her ideas. And that's important to note in conservative communities. A woman goes up there and she has
was Leaflet not taught sticks and stones? Like, it's not that simple. It's not that simple. And this isn't just me defending Leaflet. This is me just in general. Like, yes, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's easy to say until you've got an army of fuckers after you, and like your own friends stabbing you in the back and shit like that. So it's not as easy as sticks and stones. That's a great saying. That is something it's very important to keep in mind, but it's not a end all solution. It's not a final solution, if you will. It's like it's up to a point, and then once all that shit comes down on you, it does get to you. Like, I'm pretty good at not letting it get to me, but there, like, if I ever do come under fire, like, there will be that breaking point. Hopefully I'll be able to, fight them off before that. But no, that's gonna fucking get to you. Like, yeah, sticks and stones, that's fine until you've got a bunch of people fucking stabbing you in the back and shit like that, and you're all scattered and all over the place. So I totally get it. I totally get why people break, even if they like, you can logically understand sticks and stones. It's totally different than when everyone is after you. Like even if you know they're all full of shit and you've seen what makes them cheer and you don't have to care about their boos, when the boos get loud enough, you do start like it gets to you mentally. Even though you know it shouldn't, it will still get to you. Your daughter wants to be like Iron Mouse. You would only let that happen if she has a model. What you're saying, like she wants to stream. I mean, obviously she should. Yeah, don't. While you still have control of your daughter, don't let her like face cam. That'd be my advice as well. Yeah, that's good. Don't yeah, but yeah, get like you can get models for free or cheap. Again, my stuff's all free there. So yeah, if that's something you want, do that with supervision. But yeah, do not put her actual face out there. As you know, men are just better at sticks and stones too. Yes, also true. Dealing with a wave of antis is very intimidating. Yeah, I haven't needed to face the full force yet, but even then, like I won't even say even then, because even when they have come for me, I've just laughed it off. So I've dealt with it so far. But yeah, I mean, if I get bigger, there will come a time where I will have to deal with some serious shit, I'm sure. You're as hardened and emboldened as you are because of the backstabbing. Yeah. But like the first or second or third time it happens, it's going to get to you. Like, and even after that, it's still going to get to you. But yeah, you will build that up. Will build that thicker skin, which I think is kind of what we're seeing from Leaf as well. You want to get new people to turn away in disgust because your opinions are extreme now, more so than before. Exactly, they do kind of make you into the monster they accuse you of being as well. Yeah, fight me verbally or whatever. Really, childhood friends turned to the left and you had to tell them off. You know that. Yep, that's Hiroshi. There are relatively cheap customizable VTuber models. Yes, and again, there are free ones as well. Like there are free customizable models as well for Vroid Studio and stuff like that. Again, as well as you can mock something up. Honestly, I just felt like using this one. This isn't my best model. I like the cyber version better, but I felt like being the traditional pirate today. But yeah, this one was completely free and self-made, as was the other one. And yeah, Powder uses like a $180 model or something like that. Like, yeah, and Powder is a big one, a big streamer. So she did the Amelia thing so quickly. Yeah. Making a PNG tuber is easy thanks to Keen. Yeah, I do have a guide on that as well. I have a guide on making something like mine here. You don't let her get on Roblox. Yeah. You can make it free really easy. Exactly. There were a lot of lines, but the straw that broke the camelback was Charlie. Oh my God, yeah. After that, you decide if the boot's going to be on someone's neck. I'm an advocate for theirs, whatever that makes me. Yeah. Keen trad pirate confirmed. Am I? I don't know.
Some idea that's uncomfortable to you, or some idea you don't like, this may not be for you, but for a chunk of the conservative community, the initial reaction is to criticize her looks.
Yeah,
it really is. Like we can say all we want about women bad, but this is something that just happens. They'll criticize her looks. They'll criticize who she slept with last. They'll criticize, like, and not that somebody shouldn't be accountable for their sexual history, but that doesn't necessarily inform.
When you heard the left laughing about Charlie dying, you went after them. Yeah, no, that was again, like I'd already seen that evil from them, but that was still really upsetting. Yeah, the Charlie Kirk stuff was that I should have mentioned that too. Like I mentioned Gamergate, I mentioned Trump 1.0, I mentioned COVID, but yeah, Charlie was probably the most recent one actually. But yeah, those four events were absolutely narrative forming, like society shaping. In fact, I love that everyone like memes on everything being Gamergate's fault, but a bunch of it actually does come back to that. I'm not saying it was it was just one of the earlier ones in the culture war. It's not necessarily the most important, but a lot of it does come back to that, which is pretty dang funny. Screw anyone that did that trash about mocking Charlie's death. Yes, absolutely. The we got Charlie in the neck one was pretty bad, and then just there's a bunch of shit posts online and stuff too, and you still see it today. And it's a great metric. We were talking about that the other night, but like you can just when someone has a fucking shit opinion, you can just search their profile for Charlie Kirk, and they'll probably be laughing about it. Same goes for, not quite as common just because it didn't have as much of a reach, but same goes for the people who were calling Kyle Rittenhouse a murderer. Like those two were somewhat closely linked ideologically. The people who cheer Charlie's death think Kyle Rittenhouse is a monster. Give no quarter to these people, they will show you no mercy, pretty much.
Their ideas, right? But this is something that girl influencers get.
They're mad at Gamergate because Gamergate became the inoculation to their bullshit. Yeah, it was the basis for a lot of this. Whether or not it was the most individually interactive, impactful, but it was very important to build onto that for later.
Right, but this is something that girl influencers get that boy influencers don't get, right? So it's another thing that was filtering them out. So what has been able to happen largely because Anna Valens pushed a number of female VTubers into the cultural.
All the tools came from Gamergate, yeah.
Wing. This is actually a fascinating phenomenon with the right, where, especially the new right, like the internet.
Yeah,
right,
and for example,
determine who we trust and who we consider like, okay, you can influence this community by how much progressives crash out about them. Like Scott Alexander, Slate Star Codex, becoming like a mainstream intellectual who like right-wing people often cite these days. Really, that's weird because I don't think he considers himself right-leaning, but the New York Times crashes out about him and people are like, okay, there might be something to this. The New York Times thinks this guy is the demon. Okay. Or the Kirsha leaflet, etc. situation. I think a lot of people saw the anime VTuber conservative influencer types with a lot of suspicion before the crash out happened. And after the crash out, I was like, oh, okay, they're chill. They're chill. They angered them enough. Ref said Desu is a bit the same way. I mean, a guy who does streams as a little anime girl, people, you think it'd be more, I think at the beginning people were more suspicious about that, but enough leftists have crashed out about him that mainstream within at least the online right, people are just like, oh yeah, Ref says Desu. Yeah, he's the mainstream member of the community.
See ya, Angry Duck.
A lot of them dress like foxes. I've got to be like, there's like 4 fox girls.
A flaming paradox, a spectacle like
The Skybrow, dude. What? Oh, all right. Yeah, catch you later, Angry Duck. That's amazing. Right into the Skybrows, man. So yeah, we got Mizuki. Let's see, of the big ones, it's Kirsha, of course. We got Kirsha. We've got Smugglana. Smugglana isn't really right, but culturally she lumps into some of that stuff. So yeah, we've got Kirsha, Smugglana, Kitsunero, Mizuki's a little smaller, but if we're including her, am I missing a Fox girl? I mean, there are a bunch. They brought Skybrows. They know of Skybrows. They had Leaflet on and they were talking Skybrows. I should watch that one too. I'm not sure if we're gonna do that one on stream because that's another like 2 hours or something like that. But yeah, no, they know. Your daughter likes it. Nice. If you are not aware, I am a Skybro. I am in some of his videos, as are a bunch of people in the community. I'm Silas. Silas is a husky and a dude. We were talking Fox girls, I think, but yes, there's Silas, and that's great. You know him. I love Silas. Silas is super cool. Let's see, let me just catch up on chat here. If you're not. I've said that before, JDS. If you're not an insane, woke, gay, race, communist quango, you are on the right. Yeah, again, it's not for it's not super useful. Like this shouldn't be the breakdown, but honorary Fox, yes, that is true. But yeah, it's not the full breakdown or whatever. But I always say, like, when I'm talking about like right wing, I'm talking about like right of Mao, which again is not right wing, but in the current cultural climate, that is an important distinction, and that's what the far left means when they're talking right wing. So it's an interesting scenario. And justify the means, consequentialists, yeah. Oppressors. You aspire to be a Skybro? A lot of people do. It's cool. And they're still building. There's plenty of room for more Skybros. Yeah, we got Mizuki there, Ember Paradox, who's sometimes a Fox girl, I guess. Kitsunero, like we were talking about. And possibly this was supposed to be Lynx. Again, colors barely match up, but some people are saying Lynx. Lifu Lifu. Are we just playing the whole video here now? Let's go. Nines. Oh, I missed nine. Again, nines is a little smaller, so not one of the big ones. But yeah, that's Lynx. Maybe. Zayla. They're just playing the full song, and yeah, there we got Smug and Kirsha. Sky confirmed it. Okay, they did a shit job. I'll take shots at him on that. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, that was not recognizably Lynx. I thought it was just some generic dude, but well, not dude, but you know, some generic Fox girl. Fox girl inspired by Lynx? No, DJ is saying it. Sky said it's Lynx. Doesn't really look like it to me, but is what it is. Very loose representation of Lynx. Base video, yeah. I know Nines got treated very well in that one. That's so cool. I like Nines.
Foxes are cute.
Brad, what is his name? Skybrows.
Yes, let's go.
Did a new anime video called Fox U or something.
Oh my gosh.
No Fox given.
Songs, and it's about Fox girl VTubers. I think because everybody who knows Skybrow videos mostly focus on cultural, conservative cultural influencers. And the fact that he was able to put together an entire video just on Fox girl VTubers shows how big this phenomenon is of conservative, furry.
Not. No. Come on. Don't make me do a full breakdown and get distracted by this. Leaflet was talking about the furry thing. She was on the wrong side of things for the record, but yeah, don't make me fucking talk furries for hours. Like, should we just do it for a meme? No, I'm just kidding. Pull up the chart. All right, I'll look up the chart while we're going. But yeah, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way we're not doing this. They're not doing this. All right, let me pull up the chart here. We'll let it go while I'm pulling up the chart. Is he gonna Walsh on us? I don't know.
I know we can say that Kirsha is not a furry influencer, but I mean, she technically is.
No.
Actually, an interesting thing about this community is they rarely play into a character for.
There we go. That'll work.
What I mean by this is Kirsha's like what.
All right. We are settling this right now. Right now. Just the ears and the tail. We can't see the tail, but yeah, not furry. When they actually start having fur, you're getting furry. When they get even more inhuman, we're reaching dangerously furry levels. When they're the fucking animal, we are at you sick bastard levels. This is not furry. The chart does not lie. Fox girls, cat girls, whatever, horse girls, whatever, are not furry. This is furry. That's furry. That's dangerously furry. That's Eustace. Yeah, no, we're not fucking doing that. They're wrong.
When I think Kirsha's character as a VTuber, I think
Fox Kaya is okay. No, Fox Kaya that was furry in the video. That was the only furry in the video.
Bostonian, grew up lower middle class because of her accent that she always goes into. Irish is my assumption because I guess I'm racist against Bostonians. I do not think Fox girl, like her being a Fox girl, like never comes up. In Leaflet's videos, for example, Leaflet's character is a slime girl, right? Literally, not even in my
wait.
Remotely evoked
chimera.
What? Are we doing this? Are we? There's
a
wait.
Slime.
Hold.
Hey, so
yeah,
fairy.
Yeah.
Whoa! All right.
It doesn't come out for
All right.
leaflet. I think he's very warm and caring.
Okay. So she knows. Get your man in line, woman.
And
Educate him.
interested in what's actually true in a way that is still sort of kind, which is interesting. That's like her thing as a conservative influencer, right? But but this isn't true of like normal VTubers, by the way. A lot of VTubers actually play into their characters a lot. Why this didn't
That was wild. The Chimera lore.
happen in the conservative intellectual scene, freaking heck if I know. Maybe they just forgot. Maybe they VTube so much they forget that they're supposed to be doing an in-character thing, or maybe they've sort of dropped being in character, right? Because the point for them is,
I mean, most VTubers aren't super in character, especially like Western VTubers. We've kind of moved like they're the purists kind of argue like that Western VTubing is an abomination or something like that. I think it has a very useful cultural impact, but it's clearly not. It's clearly barely even related tangentially to idol culture at this point. And when you have the idol culture, that is going to be more fake, so they are going to play more into those characters. And you do have other people playing into their characters, especially on their debuts or something like that. Like someone will debut, and they'll be leaning into the character heavily, the lore heavily. But after that, even in the industry, it gets less and less important. Like they just end up being the person behind the VTuber instead of the lore. Like, so you can be a shark girl, you can be a puppet, you can be a knight, whatever. You're still gonna be just a person. Like you're still gonna put on some level of act, but the lore very often doesn't matter. And that's not just a right-wing influencer politics thing. That's just in general.
well, now I can be in a world where my ideas
The character thing is kind of fucking weird, but maybe that's just you. I mean, I can see people enjoying it, but yeah, I think it's a little weird too. It's not my thing, like because it's so clearly fake. And I mean, I know you could say that being an anime girl or an anime male pirate or whatever, for example, is fake, but like, I don't know, like that's just obviously a character on the screen. But when you're actually playing into it, like if I was just being piratical the entire time, I think that would get kind of annoying. I mean, I couldn't do it well, but I think it would be kind of annoying and off-putting. So yeah, I agree, but I can also see why maybe someone would want to, like, you're looking out for a different group at that point. Like there is going to be a group of people that want the Chimera girl, or want the pirate guy, or the puppet, or the dragon, or whatever, what demon, or whatever it is. But but anyway, let's continue. But yes, yes, but they're wrong here that it's like a right-wing thing to not lean into the character.
because you don't really win on models anymore in VTubing. You buy some big expensive rig, that's not going to get you a lot of views. It's your ideas and your personality
Yep.
which is going to get you views.
100%.
What this has essentially done is introduced a female intellectual
Yeah, what's up, Affinity?
perspective into the
It
generator
only works for a short time, yeah.
of emerging right-wing culture. And
Think like Powder really leaning into the character of Amelia, just like every stream. Did she even ever really lean in? I know there was a little bit, but even then it was true that she was just like playing it for a bit, like, so that's a little different. Like she wouldn't have done that full time, but yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
it has placed a huge finger on which faction those women happen to be in of the various factions of the right. As we pointed out, there's obviously the right's old guard. There's the gripers who are really.
Are we gonna get into is Matt Walsh gonna be mentioned here? This would be, I bet Matt Walsh is gonna be mentioned.
The right's old guard. There's the gripers who are really basically leftists at this point. They never vote, right? But they're notable for a number of things, right? They're typically far more critical of Israel. They're far more likely to be deontologists. They're far more likely to be pro censorship. They're far more likely to not like nerdy hobbies.
I'm not sure about that last one. Some of that other stuff too true. Yes, they're more likely to be like kind of extreme on that and want to operate the levers of power. They're not super libertarian. They're more authoritarian. I don't think they're like, maybe they'll probably say some stuff about how the hobbies are bad or something, the nerdy hobbies, but like when you actually look at the audience, I think the Groypers are, I mean, they're very online. They're often very nerdy. Like some of the biggest accounts are like anime girls and shit like that. So I mean, I don't think that's exactly accurate.
Like anime and video games and stuff like that, and they are a meaningful faction of the right, the Groyper adjacent, right? This deontologist, anti-Israel, anti-nerd stuff. You know, like your Matt Walsh would probably an example of a more mainstream one like that, where he crashes out about stuff like anime. And
hey, there's Matt Walsh. Did I call it or not? Did I fucking call it or not? Matt Walsh. Hobbies, the fuck does that have to do with anything? He was just talking about the nerd space. So he's saying that the Groypers do not like the nerd stuff, and he's bringing that back to the cultural shift on the right, that there are pro nerd right wing spaces now too. You like anime and waifus, but you're not anti-Israel or like pro censorship, I guess you mean? Yeah.
Does he?
Know, like,
he doesn't like anime?
Oh yeah, he has multiple crash outs about how anime is like destroying the country and how, you know, like, right? That like what it's like it gives me the ick, if I'm gonna be honest. Like, even if I didn't like anime, I don't need to.
Is Matt Walsh associated with the Groypers? No, he's not a Groyper, but he is anti-anime, which is why I mentioned that. A virgins? I don't know exactly what you mean.
Like be criticizing other people. He sees it as like un-American, and I'm like, Hollywood is un-American.
Yes,
anime
dude.
is the last places where I can
yes
watch a show that's not filled with woke messaging.
Yes,
some of the time, right?
Dude, I called Matt Walsh out on that and was mentioned in a Rev video and a Leaf video for that comment, which I thought was pretty dang cool. But yeah, no, anime has more of the Western values, despite being Eastern, than the modern Hollywood does. So yeah, Matt Walsh trying to say that like we need to save Hollywood and anime is bad is a stupid fucking take. Matt Walsh in Skybrow's video was funny. Yeah, I unfortunately I think it came about before me, but I did help push that through too. He said something right. Who did? Anyway.
But the nature of VTubing, this is the type of girl who is...
VTubers are filling the artistic spaces these old dumbasses abdicated. Yes, Hollywood is un-American, correct.
Open to presenting herself to the world as an anime girl or as a literal furry like Kirsha or something like that, right?
Stop! And the subtitles will never get her name right. Keisha. Literal furry. She's not a furry. She's not a furry. Walsh. Oh, you're saying Walsh said something right? Yes, he has good takes. Just because he's anti-anime does not mean he's terrible or whatever. I think he's... there's plenty I disagree with him on. I think he's probably a net positive culturally, but he's got some major blind spots. And shit posts some too. Like, not everything he even says is truly his belief. You predicted years ago, due to the internet interest, will get more and more niche, smaller and smaller, and more content is put out for these groups. No more monoculture at the water cooler. Yeah. I mean, we're seeing that now. We're seeing that now already. Like, this community is an excellent example. If you think you can fix Hollywood, you go right ahead and try, but I have doubts that will ever happen. Meanwhile, VTubers exist now. Yes, and anime and all that. Like, why? Like, if like, I think it's better. he has some bad boomer takes here and there, yes. But yeah, no, it's better to let Hollywood die. Like, there's no point trying to save it. Like, we can let it die and then rebuild, basically. But there's no point trying to save it.
Right? Like, or the other dozen conservative Fox girls. God, I can't remember. There's another one that I quite like, but I can't remember her name. She's the one with she's got like a blue bow or something. I don't know. There's your white hair, I want to say.
That's still Keisha, I think. Blue bow and white hair. I mean, there are a couple white haired. Oh, is he talking to Lana?
Anyway,
I think she's got. I mean, she's got blue on the ice form.
Intrinsically, not going to be in that faction.
Yeah, Lana maybe.
Post Gamergate faction. This is a faction that is used to fighting censorship. It might be like, oh, furries are weird, but like, I'm not gonna like go out of my way to attack somebody for being a furry. Like, and obviously you're not. If your core presentation to the world is as a fox girl or a slime girl.
Yeah, he probably did mean Alana, like I said.
On a 10-minute rant about why everybody who watches anime is bad, or why deontological value systems are good. I don't know why these things. Well, actually, this is actually interesting. Why do these things pair so much? Why is it that the deontologists pair so much with the people who are pro censorship?
That's such a. That's such a weird. Like, it's not that black and white because it's not all on the same side. Like, you've got much more pro censorship on the left. Like, I don't really know the link he's going for here. It seems a little obsessive. Like, he's trying to drive home a point that's not really necessarily there. Like, are the Groypers, because that's who he's talking about, are the Groypers pro censorship? On some issues, yes. Like, they, again, like I said, they want to use the levers of power. They do want to be authoritarian. They want to be the ones in charge. But if we're also looking at the wider so-called right, I would say the rhinos and like the neocons and shit like that. I know neocon has a specific term, but let's just use it in the broader incorrect way. The like the rhinos and neocons and shit are way more pro censorship than even the authoritarian Groypers or something like this. So he's picking at a specific group he doesn't like, and I don't think it's 100% accurate.
I think the answer is that I
think censorship only performatively addresses sin, and deontologists care more about the performance of the.
This actually aligns.
I will say, because I was having this argument. Well, it wasn't an argument; it was a discussion. I was having this recently, actually. And this will piss some people off because I know I do have religious people in the audience and stuff, and I've got nothing. I want to be very clear. I've got nothing against religious people. I toy with it sometimes myself, but it at present is not for me. I believe in God. Anyway, we don't have to get into all that. I've said my piece on that before as well, but I'm not personally religious. But for me, like, when I'm doing an argument, I don't like to argue from a place of like, is it sinful or not? Of course, being moral or not is important, but like, when you just focus on this is a sin and should be banned or something like that, I don't think that's really an argument. You do have to break it down a little bit more than that. And so yeah, it's not as simple as, oh, is that a sin and therefore it should not be allowed or something. I think it all does come back to like what society accepts, and that gets a little tricky because it is just like, you do have to draw lines, obviously, and there are things that you can't tolerate, but just breaking it down to like sin or not, it's not productive, I guess, is my point. Like, that's what I'm getting at. It's not productive. Like, obviously you should know if something is a sin or not, but it's not productive to point that out because so many people are anti-religious, that's going to shut down the conversation. Like, unfortunately, like, maybe we should be able to talk about that, but it's not productive because it shuts down the conversation. Like, when you start talking about sin, you're losing a bunch of people, for better or worse. You're losing a bunch of people. So I don't think that's the angle anyone should really come at things from. because again, you're not going to reach people with that. You can say that's wrong, but you're not reaching people
with their views on things like race as well. Whereas we point out that they're trying to sow divisions within the Republican Party over things like race or religion are stupid because we wouldn't be able to build up enough of a base to win elections if we alienate those people. A lot of these people want to be able to put the blame.
Fix your audio, dude. Think removing God and shame, etc., destroyed the social order of the U.S. The U.S. had? Yes, and I mean, if you look at Yuri Bezmenov or something like that, like they were talking about the demoralization effort, like it was an intentional effort to destroy that structure, that moral structure. Like, no matter how you feel about God or Christianity or something like that, that was an intentional attack on the absolute framework of society, and largely succeeded, unfortunately, and now we're having to pick up the pieces. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Strong female characters. What is or is not sin is defined by your moral standard. Yeah, that's the other issue I have with the whole sin issue, is that they break it down to like, yeah, again, I have nothing against religious people, but you also have to temper it with logic. And if your argument is God says it, again, even if that's true, it's not a compelling argument, and you're going to lose a bunch of the people who either don't believe in God or think God thinks different things. Like, it's just not a good argument. It's not a good argument. You can't just be like, sin is bad and God said so, because that's not an argument. Strong secular argument against sin that's based in the prisoner's dilemma. Yeah, again, but again, that's not. You were right on the video taking me a while. Of course. I told you. I think I'm doing pretty well too. It's been 40 minutes since you last checked in. Yeah, we're also 30 minutes through the video. I think I'm doing all right considering. You're liking the flow and vibe of tonight's stream? Thank you. Which version of God? Which translation? Just going to divide the right? Yeah. You're an atheist, so you have a lot of things about... So you have a lot of things about all the things? Yeah. Shoot, there's one thing I wanted to touch on there. I don't know.
Because they don't want to take responsibility from it as a community to themselves on some external group. So they choose some group like Jews. And they're like, Jews are the ones that are spreading all of this. And it's like, it's clearly not the case.
Clearly. No, why are we here? Just to suffer?
If you look at just the reality of the situation, it is mostly white women. It is white, upper class women who are spreading this and who are the ringleaders of this.
Gotta love this community. At least people can sit down and talk without your feeling dictating you. Yeah, again, like, it's one of the things I like most about the community. We can disagree on a lot of things, but we all get along. Karen's no. Jew raised on Torah, but I remember the 90s and 2000s being better than today. Yeah. Speaking of blaming some group.
It is not some external group. It is coming from inside the house. And they're like, well, if all white people voted like me, then we could build up enough of a base.
Dude. If all white people voted like me, no, like, we've seen the graphs. If only white people voted, including white women, things would be vastly different and more conservative. Like, again, are there problems with white women? And you can't stand Karens? Yeah, no one can. Are there problems with white women? Yes. Are they the problem group? No. Like, I don't know, man.
It's like, yeah, but the problem is the majority of white people are against our goals. I mean, this is just the reality of it. And yet we can find Hispanic people over 50% of...
No. Again, like, don't be sorry for being a white female. Like, a bunch of white females are fine. There are problems among the white female community, if you want to call it a community, but yeah, it's not the prime issue. There is issues, but again, even then, like, they kind of got elevated. It is the primary issue. No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Again, like I said, if it was just white people voting, it would be much more conservative. Definitely would not call it a community. Yeah.
Hispanic men in the last election voted for Trump. We can find huge chunks of black people. We can find
huge chunks. Like, wasn't it, not to quote crime stats, but wasn't it like 13% or something? Like almost 90% of people, almost 90% of black people voted Democrat, I believe, last time. And that was a historic low. So what are we talking about here about white women?
Huge chunks of Jewish people. And yes,
huge chunk. Again, I think that was majority Democrat too, which is funny because Trump was pandering to them a whole lot more. So yeah, this is very stilted. Yeah, no hate to these guys, but he's coming from a place of bias here, and I call people out when I see it, no matter what. But yeah, I disagree with his take here. Again, almost all black people voted Democrat, and again, this was the lowest level they voted for Democrat in a while. So yes, more blacks voted for Trump than they had previously voted for Republicans, but it's still not even fucking close. Most Jews voted for Biden. And Kamala and stuff like that. Like, it's okay. Let me just talking about how more non-whites voted Trump than usual or believed. Yeah. But no. But look at the phrasing. Though.
We can find Hispanic people over 50% of.
Okay, Hispanic people based. Sure, we'll take that.
Hispanic men in the last election voted for Trump. We can find huge chunks of black people.
Huge chunks makes it sound like, again, maybe he just misspoke here, but huge chunks make it sound like a massive proportion. It was like 13% or something like that, I think.
We can find huge chunks of Jewish people.
I don't know that one off the top of my head, but I think it was also like almost 90% or something voted Democrat. So there are chunks, but not huge chunks. Dude, I think white women are more conservative than blacks or Jews.
And yes, huge chunks of Indian people who are interested in our goals. And so if you play in this fantasy world where you can get all white people to agree with you, sure.
Again, you don't even need it. If only white people were voting, we would be more conservative. So clearly the problem is not just white people. That's all I'm getting at here.
But that's not the world we actually live in. And we live in a world where we actually want to win elections and where we actually want to push back on the existential threat the urban monoculture plays. And functionally, if you are concerned about declining white populations, which, by the way, isn't actually happening.
Why don't I look it up? We can look it up. Not accurate statistics. Yeah, I can look it up.
White people have a higher fertility rate than almost any other ethnic group.
White women are largely progressive. I never said otherwise. White women are largely progressive. I'm just saying they're not the prime problem.
Control for income. And so, like, for example, the United States, they have a much higher fertility rate than the black population.
Oh,
but
wait. We can just grok this because we're in the AI age now. Let me grok this real quick. Yeah, I could let this play, but then I get distracted and want to play it back anyway. So this is not great entertaining streaming, but we'll just leave this paused while I do this. What percentage of black Americans voted for Trump in, I think we were talking 2020. Grok, is this real? Yes, exactly. Grok, is this real? Most white women are liberals. Yes. How do I grok this? How do I clickbait this? What percentage of American Jews voted for Trump in 2020? All right. Okay, so if you believe it's exactly what I said. Approximately 12% of black voters supported Donald Trump in 2020 presidential election. Black voters 87 fucking percent for Biden, 12 for Trump. Pew Research 92.8. Oh, we could go 2024 as well. You're right. Like maybe. Yeah. Okay, we can do that as well. What about 2024? We can check that too. Okay. Okay, so it was the Jews were a little higher. Oh, and we popped up the furry one there, and we popped up a different one there. But yeah, 30% of American Jews voted Donald Trump in 2020. Let's see what it is in 2024 here too. What about 2024? How did the furry spectrum? Oh my god, that would be interesting. Triple check the info. Yeah, I know that. I know this isn't 100% accurate. I know this isn't 100% accurate. I want to be very clear. Same. Like literally same. If you're believing this, 13% of black voters Trump in 2024. So he gained 1%. Found a slightly higher figure, 15%, 14%. Again, like I'm not claiming this is 100% accurate. It's pulling from 30 sources. Who the fuck knows how fucking stupid those sources are, though. But yeah, so it's right. It's right what I said. Literally right what I said. Oh, okay, yeah, and it's so yeah, again, I was a little low on the Jews. 32. So yeah, but again, still consistent. 2020 and 2024 were largely the same. Like it was 30. So again, he gained a couple percentage points here. But yeah, Jews are like 70%, 70% liberal American Jews, and the blacks are like nearly 90%. So it's right what I said. You voted Trump both times and you're a Jew. I'm not saying, again, then you're part of the 30%. I'm not, like, this is how numbers work. I'm not saying all Jews are bad because 70% are liberal or something like that. That was not my point, just to be clear. Male blacks? Potentially, yes. See you close up. See you, someone else was saying they were going off too. You need more Jews? You're fine. I know. Okay, I just wanted to check. I wanted to clarify for sure because I don't want people thinking that's what I'm saying. But my point is, this is fucking stupid. And
almost any other ethnic group when you control for income.
Yeah, let's go back.
If you are
yeah. No, I fucking hate waffles.
Populations, which by the way isn't actually happening. White people have a higher fertility rate than almost any other ethnic group when you control for income.
What does that even mean? Because if you look at the, like, when you control for income, why does that matter? Like, are white people more or less fertile? Are they having more or less babies than other groups? I don't care about income. That's wild.
And so, like, for example, the United States, they have a much higher fertility rate than the black population.
He probably has some data, isn't he a scholar in demographics? I mean, yeah, I'm sure he does, but I'm just saying he seems to be ignoring some stuff here too. Like, because you can look at the percentage of the American population based on race, and you can see like that is admittedly different than birth rate, but you can see in other white countries what is going on, and white people are being, if you want to use that word, replaced. Jews are having more babies than whites. Again, I think a lot of people are. So I don't get this. Corrected for income.
But so the only way in which they're being quote unquote outbred is if you go to places like Africa where there's desperate poverty, or some places in the Middle East where there's desperate.
Look. And again, I know a lot of that is imports or stuff like that, but you can't just be like, look at the birth rate, because look at the white women are really fucked. Yes. But yeah, you can't just be like, look at the birth rate, because look at demographics in white countries. Look at demographics in white countries. You already have your replacement. Nice. Blacks have more abortions. Yes, that is very true. All right, see you, Feather. But yeah, so it's largely meaningless because you can look at what's happening to white countries. And if there are no more white countries, there are going to be no more white people. Like, that's just kind of how it trickles down.
Property. But even if you do conceptually care, like you're like, well, even though they have a high fertility rate, I want their fertility rate to be higher. I want there to be a higher proportion of the world's population. The only way to handle that, it doesn't matter where they live, it's having kids, right? If we are like Korea and we have virtually no immigration, but we have an extremely low fertility rate, we've done nothing. Like, even if all you care about is increasing the white.
Okay. On that, if you do something like Korea or Japan and have a birth rate problem but no immigration, you at least still have a cohesive culture. Like, that's a very different issue. That's a very different issue than what's happening in white countries.
Population. You've literally done nothing. You've done nothing that can have a chance of mattering in the long term.
The elites are trying to destroy the West, and the left are pawns. Correct.
And yet almost all of the leaders of this movement have no children, and they often push their followers to not form relationships because I think they realize that white women are the source of the problem, and so they're like, well, of course you want to have white kids, but you don't want to get in a relationship with a white woman, and so we'll just pretend that we're trying to actually fix things. And if you try to blow up coalitions where you won't even side with somebody like J.D. Vance, who is
This is interesting. I've liked a lot of this. I wish we were talking about the VTuber stuff, but yeah, if you won't even side with someone like JD Vance, dude, I have so many fucking suspicions about JD Vance, man. Fucking Palantir puppet. I'll just say I hope he's not the guy in JD Vance's speech in Hungary was based. He says some good stuff. I don't fucking trust him. I'm sorry. I don't fucking trust him. I want someone better in 2028. I hope he's not the guy.
Is both Catholic and anti-Iran war, and you're just like, he's the devil, yet he's as close to your position as there could be.
He's sort of anti-Iran war. He's also like kind of flip-flops heavily, and I know he's the VP, and that's kind of his job to support the president too, so I don't hold that against him necessarily, but like he's not presented himself particularly well, in my opinion. I know some of my opinions go against even my own audience here. But yeah, I'm not a huge Vance fan. I'm pretty suspicious of him. He's too linked into a lot of the technocrats.
A mainstream figure just because he's in an interracial relationship, or because he's friends with gay people, like friends with Peter Thiel. Well, then you've
ever see his interview on Joe Rogan before the election? I think so. That's allowed, mate. By the way, I know. I still always feel weird when I'm going against the majority opinion, or what I feel are the majority opinions, and I do it repeatedly, but it still feels weird. Rubio looks best to me so far. Nah man, fuck Rubio too. Speaking of going against, oh man, I do not like Rubio. All right, you're heading out, Affinity. All right, catch you later. You care more that someone can defend their position than if you agree with you. Yeah, yep. True and real. Again, like, there are plenty of people that, then who? I don't know. Like, again, I'm hoping there's someone. You never liked Rubio? Yeah, man. But yeah, I mean, it's not my job to present a option. I will say, once again, the left is putting forward so many terrible candidates. You just do what you want. Yeah. But yeah, the left is putting forward so many terrible candidates. Like, what is it going to be Newsom? Like, Newsom's a fucking nightmare. Got to pick someone. I mean, there are a couple people I like, but there's no one I trust fully because all these people are snakes. Vance podcast on Theo Vaughn, he was kind of boring, but at least he was pretty normal. Yeah, I saw that one too. I liked him. Like, I like some of what Vance has said. There are just some serious red flags there. The bar is so low. Yeah, it really is. Like, what if it's fucking Vance versus Newsom? Like, I'm worried either way. You don't trust any of them. Exactly.
Created a coalition that simply cannot win elections, and this is what we mean by it's a.
Oh, I gotta go back because they mentioned Peter Thiel there.
Position is there could be a mainstream figure just because he's in an interracial relationship or because he's friends with gay people, like friends with.
Oh Jesus! I've literally. See, look, I like these guys, but like this, I hate this style of argument. Like, you just got to support Brandon Herrera for president. I've said before, the main reason I don't support Brandon Herrera for president is because I wouldn't want to subject Brandon Herrera to that. I like him too much. Like, that's it. But no, like, that would be a good choice, Brandon Herrera for president, if we're discounting the absolute horror it would wreak on his life. Yes, Brandon Herrera for president. Yeah, I don't know. There aren't a whole lot of good options. This is no, I don't like this style. Eva, you're heading out too. All right, catch you later.
The devil, yet he's as close to your position as there could be.
Is he though?
A mainstream figure just because he's in an interracial relationship.
Interracial relationship. Literally, the only one I've heard like talking about that is Fuentes, who like they said is kind of a maverick, a wild card, and has been counter signaling the right. So even though I'm saying I don't like Vance, don't trust Vance, so we shouldn't say Keen EN for president. Oh God, no. Brandon already stressed so much getting where he was now. Yeah. Dude, if I thought the presidency could actually change things and I was in a position to be the president, I'd push for that, but there's no way. Fuentes is a douche. Yeah, I like some of what he says, but he's done way too, he's flip-flopped way too much. He's too egotistical. A bunch of his own arguments just come down to what will get me the most attention, like what will build the Nick Fuentes brand. And that's retarded. You can't trust someone like that. So that's trustworthiness is my main criticism of Fuentes. He's just not a trustworthy figure and is potentially a Fed. Turn my pirate ship into a White House. No. 3 good talking points out of 1,000. I'd say more than that. But again, like, you can't even trust his talking points. So even if it was like 900 out of 1,000 that are good, you still can't trust him because he's not coming from a place of good faith. But yeah, anyway, I don't like this this argument style because I don't think it's accurate to reality. Interracial relationship, like literally only Fuentes said that, and is one of his most retarded takes. Like, however you feel about that, that was fucking retarded. Like, he was like support, and like some of it is trolling, but also like when he knows his own people are going to push that shit, you can't just be like, oh, well, he's just trolling, because it does actually have an impact. You had a bunch of people supporting Gavin Newsom because his bitchy, retarded liberal wife is white. Like, it's like, oh, they're white people, so we have to support them. No, that's fucking retarded. Yeah. So yeah, interracial relationship, or that friends with gay people, Peter Thiel. I've literally never heard the gay accusation, like that he's friends with gay people. Like, maybe someone said that, again, probably someone retarded like Fuentes, but like we're just coasting over the whole Peter Thiel thing, and that he was picked up by Peter Thiel in fucking college and like has been in his employ since then, potentially. Like, he worked for Peter Thiel out of college. Like, he was recruited out of college by Peter Thiel. Like, there's a lot of shit here, but I've never heard like, oh, he's friends with gay people. Like, that's weird. Well, if we want the gov to do nothing for 4 years, we could just say the next failed Austrian painter for president. I'm listening. Probably missed a good stream. Who the fuck cares? Well, you would have to interracial if all the white women are taint. I don't know what you mean by that, but no, I mean, he's saying these were silly arguments. I know, but some of them are not even arguments I've heard, is what I'm saying.
Or because he's friends with gay people, like friends with Peter Thiel, well, then you've created a coalition that simply cannot win elections. And this is what we mean by it's a performative coalition, not a coalition that's actually designed to advance the aims they, from a consequentialist perspective, pretend they're trying to advance. Yeah, this reminds me of a comment in a recent video, because I was talking about, how you need to learn to make yourself immune to the sirens, not hide from the sirens, because they are so ubiquitous in our environment right now, the calls to sin all around us, and not, overly freak out about like this random arousal pattern or that random arousal pattern. And somebody's like, oh, I don't know, there's some really deranged stuff online, and that I think Malcolm's just trying to like wipe competitors out of the gene pool. What is it, like a mate blocking or something, right? And it's like, no, like I'm just being consequentialist. The reality is that if you get to an extent where it interferes with your life, tripped up by the online environment of today, which, doesn't even have what your children will be fighting against, which is, fully lifelike, animated in real time, the most beautiful woman they've ever seen.
Damn.
Right? That's reacting just to them. There's no way your genes are going to make it for 2 or 3 more generations, right? Like I could try my best. Like I understand that there's genetic variance in humanity, and just because I'm not like tempted out of my mind by something doesn't mean that somebody else isn't. But there's just no way. There's no way. Obviously, what you can't.
Wait, so what we're saying? Wait. Let's actually think this through. So, are we saying if we introduce better and better anime waifus, we can think this through? Can we fucking breed out the simp gene? Like, can we target and breed out the simp gene? Like, can we just make simps die off? Is that going to happen? Like, can we just get rid of simps if we keep producing higher quality anime girls? Can we do that?
Do to resist this stuff is naltrexone, right? Like naltrexone plus the Sinclair method with, like, if you feel overly called to a sin to an
holy oh my god, that's so perfect. These two look like a couple from fucking Tim Burton movie. They do be looking like a couple from a Tim Burton movie. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. Holy shit, I love that. Yeah, lol, wait. Yeah. Holy shit.
Feel overly called to a sin to an extent that it is taking up all your time or destroying your life or leading you down a pathway that is like really—
No, simping is hardwired. Just because you're in denial doesn't mean it isn't there. Yeah, I know. I was mostly joking. It would be nice, but it's not happening. See the future heading in Blade Runner 2049 and Ready Player One path, possibly.
Messing with you. Naltrexone can help with that, right? And it's also got positive side effects too. And you can get it fairly inexpensively from countries like India and stuff.
What the fuck are we talking about? I don't know.
There are alternatives, but banning is not a very good one, because as I've said before, as soon as you ban, then VPNs are on the table. Banning VPNs are on the table. And when you ban VPNs, then the government controls your thought and what you can say and do. And the UK is already seeing this, be tabled because they allowed these parts of their right to gain.
Naltrexone should be illegal. I don't even know what it is. Fucking horrible drug. Most of them are.
So much power that they were able to work with the left to ban this stuff. And they're like, oh, well, everyone can agree that any form of pornography where it looks like somebody being hurt should be banned. And so then they ban all of that. And then it's like, oh, well, now we need to ban VPNs because they don't care about actual violence. I mean, look.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess they're talking porn or whatever, and as well as some drugs or something like that. I don't know. I will say I've said this before. I think porn is bad for society. I think the current drive to like the current avenues of attack against porn are far worse. It's a mood stabilizer. They tried to put you on it for your depression, trying to hit us up with George Orwell in 1984. Yeah. But yeah, so no, porn is bad. Porn is bad. Do not use it or use it in moderation if you can control yourself. But porn is bad. It's disastrous for society. But, big but, all attempts to ban porn are worse. I am completely against porn bans because I don't trust the government and I don't trust the politicians, and we're seeing how they're coming at it. Like it's the most retarded way. They're not targeting porn production or anything like that, which whether or not you think porn should be illegal, that would be the way to do it, make porn production illegal. Although even then you create the black markets and everything like that. Like you're probably going to get more abuse at that point, but that's a different issue. But when you look at how they're going after porn, what they want to do is they want to target consumption of porn, which so basically all current avenues of attack against porn, they make it sound nice. They're like, oh, protect the children, think of this or that, or protect the children, protect the women, whatever. It's all digital ID. It all comes back to digital ID. It's a foot in the door to end online anonymity, and I fucking hate that the right is falling for it. They fall for it every fucking time. It pisses me off. Dude, I know the left likes porn, the right hates porn. I'm of course generalizing here broadly, but yeah, right hates porn. Okay, look, it's the porn bans that they're pushing are not even about the porn. The right is shooting themselves in the, not just even the fucking foot, but the head here. If you ban porn, you are banning online anonymity. You're banning free speech. We're undoing decades of fucking progress. I do not like porn. If you ban porn, which the right are the ones pushing for, you roll back every single bit of progress we've made in decades. And it pisses me off so much. Pay the fuck attention, people. Like, no, like you're ending free speech. It's stupid shit. I fucking hate it. Like, you've got all these, and just look at who's pushing it too. It's like it's the same fucking neocons and shit like that. Like it's not the based right. The based right is not push. Some of them are, but by and large, it's not our guys who are even pushing that shit. It's a foot in the door for censorship, and it's stupid.
Look at the UK right now, right? It's an actual hellscape right now. It's not. But what this means is this like post Gamergate faction, the nerd right, is gaining disproportionate dominance.
You hear the left wants to ban porn. They're not some of them do, but it's a minority. It's not like the left. A bunch of the right is like it's got broader appeal on the right. On the left, it's a chunk of feminists and shit like that. Like they want to ban porn to protect women because they're retarded, but they also want to legalize prostitution and stuff like that. Like the left is schizophrenic. You do think it's destructive in the other direction though too. It's wrong in many ways. Again, I'm not advocating for porn. I'm advocating against criminalizing porn. You love how the patriarch has survived the party and power shifting several times. Yeah, because it's all fucking fake and gay.
Because of more than they otherwise structurally would, because there isn't the same outlet for the other side of the right to gain eyes.
Put them in a box. Put them all in a box.
And what's interesting is it's not like there aren't VTubers in this other side.
Oh, we're talking VTubers again, dude. Like I've enjoyed this video. There's been a lot to think about, but I do wish it was a little bit more concise on the VTuber issue.
That I watch occasionally dresses up, and he's not even like that. He's never said anything that I disagreed with, but I assume that he's part of the deontologist faction of the right because he dresses up as like a knight with like a red.
alcohol is destructive when abused. Look how well it's like look how well prohibition went. Yeah. And also it's very interesting too, like it's a interesting sign too, like that there are things like when they think they can get away with it, they will legalize it and tax it to hell. Like alcohol is as expensive as it is because it's very taxed. Same with nicotine and tobacco, you know, like cigarettes. But yeah, like they're crying about like 20,000 deaths from like certain drugs or whatever. And that's bad, of course, that's bad. But legal drugs, predominantly tobacco, but then also alcohol obviously plays a part. Like I think tobacco kills 500,000 to 600,000 Americans a year, and alcohol another like 1 to 1.5 or something thousand, like 100,000. So yeah, you're pushing almost a million. Legalized leaflet. Yeah. But yeah, you're talking almost a million Americans dead a year from legal drugs while we're crying about illegal drugs. It's just, I wish people could keep things in perspective. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Affinity, what's up?
Red cross like a crusader, and he like bounces on screen. He does like different like crusader outfits and stuff. Not a full VTuber thing, but I like his channel. Like it's important to note that there's a number of people in the more deontological faction of the right who
You have a serious question. What's up?
I still quite like in terms of content producers and agree with. Another one would be Redeemed Zoomer, I think is in this faction. And I quite like his content. Static in the Attic. He's even in the anti-Israel faction, right? And he produces quite good content. So like obviously our factions can get along. I think a lot of people in that faction watch our episodes and get something from it. But like we still realize that our goals for where the right is going.
Bill Hicks, somewhat, yes. Not super familiar, but I do know him a little bit.
Like we're clearly on the same team, but we have different visions for where we want this team to go in the long term and what sort of policy we want to see on the books. And that the right is becoming the party of the nerd at sort of its core.
I wouldn't say core. I wouldn't say core. It's definitely growing, but I wouldn't say core.
Driven by VTubing, unlocking, becoming an influencer for a very specific type of person.
Yep. Okay. Yeah.
And that's the person who's done it. Like if you look at, this is the other thing about the VTubers who have come onto the scene through this avenue, just to highlight the two that Anna Valens tried to cancel.
The other thing I'd say about like nerdism on the right is just because like it was somewhat targeted, like the left through Gamergate and some of this other post Gamergate stuff has been targeting those groups of people, so they've been kind of driven away. Like the nerds are not primarily ideological. So if you have one ideological side that says you're not welcome there and another that says you are, or largely says you are, or that you'll at least be tolerated, or maybe one or two people like Matt Walsh, like we talked about, will hate on you occasionally. But like it's just a matter of purity spiraling. Like the left will attack nerds just for not being political enough, which pushes them further to the right.
Kirsche and Leaflet. Kirsche's content is some of the densest, deepest research that you get on the right. I don't know if have you ever watched her content, Simone?
No, not really.
Is he talking Leaflet or Kirsche? Because he mentioned both. I feel Leaflet, but it could be either because Kirsche does some deep dives too. Bridge stuff.
So she does like 2.5 hours where she will take a topic and like try to pull up all of the receipts.
He said both, but we'll see.
Where does this rope go? Like how deep does she's where I first learned about like Joe Money or something like that. Like what is all of the things
John Money. Yep, there we go. Dude, I called it. He said Joe Money, I said John Money. He corrected himself.
Something like that.
I'm so good.
What is all of the things that John Money did? How
boom,
get covered?
Another keen win.
how did this, for people who don't know, this is the guy who invented the concept of gender and transness more broadly in modern context.
And abused a couple twins, and I think they both killed themselves or something like that.
Who did these horrifying experiments on children.
But a dog.
Watch your episode if you care to learn more about that.
I like Kirsha. Keen is so back. I never left. I've been here the whole time. But yeah, no, Kirsha's great. I used to listen to her a lot. I haven't had as much time since my own streaming stuff took off. That makes it sound like I'm way more important than I am. But yeah, since I've been busy with all this, but yeah, I love Kirsha. I got a just totally off topic. I got a Kirsha like and a Kirsha reply today, which I've been connected with some of those other people, but this was my first interaction like that with Kirsha. I thought it was fun. That was fun. Nothing major. It was just some shit posting, but I'm like, hey, cool. She replied to a comment. Let's fucking go.
But like, so she'll dig really deep on something like that, or look for receipts, sort of like a Nick, this young investigative guy. But
Nick Shirley.
A bit before that. I mean, that requires a nerd to be into doing. Leaflet's core thing that I think that she's like most known for is trying to be as genuinely warm, empathetic, and open into whatever topic that she's covering.
Yep.
And
fair enough.
Well, also,
Keen name dropping again. Always.
she doesn't fall for anything.
No, she doesn't
which
fall
I think
for
is important.
anything either. She's open without being, what's the word I'm looking, like foolish about it, right? Mm-hmm. But it is a female perspective that she takes. You could not emulate Leaflet's perspective, at least.
Geez, am I gonna catch strays here? Am I gonna catch strays? Because again, I think I'm somewhat similar to Leaflet in like execution and style here. And again, I'm a dude. I'm secretly an anime girl though, with a voice changer because I like things on hard mode. But like you could yes, I think there is something female about Leaf's presentation, obviously, but you can do the same thing as a dude as well. Aiden Paladin content. I know the name, but no, I'm not super familiar. Well researched. Maybe I'll check it out.
Within right that she takes, you could not emulate Leaflet's perspective, at least
Queen. Damn it. I'm never avoiding it, huh? She's so based. Leaflet. I love Leaflet. Yeah. You'd honestly love to get into debating some of these people. I feel pretty confident. You've read a lot of books and have a lot of experience with econ professionally. Unfortunately, for debating, that's not the most important stuff. Knowledge is important, but you need presentation and confidence. Like that will actually get you further, unless you're completely and 100% in the right, and your opponent is just retarded. You need to also be able to debate. You're similar. That's why I followed you. Hey, thank you. You literally met in chat. I don't know which chat, but all right. Watched a few vids before that. Followed the day before. All right, cool. Thank you.
That she takes. You could not emulate Leaflet's perspective, at least within right-wing spaces, as a guy.
So what you're saying is that because basically intellectually mature women have unlocked access to a platform online.
Oh, nice. You actually saw me in Leaflet's chat. Cool. Unfortunately, I have not been able to hang out there because I don't currently have access to those accounts at the moment. Or 7. Yep. Dude, I was so flattered. Again, I've been accused of name dropping, but dude, like when Leaf said that I'm so cool, I'm just like, how the fuck? I've got like less than 2,000 followers, and Leaflet's like saying how cool I am. Like that was real damn cool. That will stick in my memory. It's very, very flattering.
They've shifted the Overton window of the right. Is that the gist of your argument?
Well, they're securing a shift in the Overton window of the right that was already happening. So much of the new right,
cream of the slop, yeah.
Because remember, I part of the pathway.
Leaflet's a normal person with a good head on her shoulders at the end of the day. Yep. And again, she's just super, super loyal to people, and yep, no, she's good people. That's what I always say.
The new
good
right
people
came out of, because remember, I part of the pathway that led to it was hating on feminists. Is I sometimes call it like the red pill diaspora.
Just like we always dunk on Hassan, always hate on feminists. Feminists are You look up to her still? Yeah, she's a big inspiration to me. But yeah, just like you always dunk on Hassan, always dunk on feminists. They are the bane of civilization.
Pathway that led to it was hating on feminists. I sometimes call it like the red pill diaspora, right? Like when the red pill collapsed and Reddit shadow banned it and everything like that, a lot of the influencers from that space, a lot of the pickup artists and stuff like that, they went out there and they became, well, right-wing intellectual influencers. And that would have pushed, like, there is very little intellectual overlap between anything that Kirsha and Leaflet do with what a pickup artist influencer does, right? Like these are two they wouldn't have been in that world at all. They wouldn't have found that interesting. They wouldn't have
yeah, the victim oppressor dynamics, the redefining of terms, like you can't be racist against white people, you can't be sexist against men, because they just fucking spellcasting, man. Spellcasting. They use words as power. Again, it does a lot of it does come back to communism. Like if you look at like Marxism and the Saul Alinsky stuff, the rules for radicals, it's all fucking manipulation. It's again, as someone who, one of my prime values is good faith and can get along with anyone who's in good faith, like these parasites, their biggest issue is that they're not operating in good faith, which is why you can't engage them in good faith.
And yet it's the former fans of these pickup artist influencers who are now being influenced by people like Kirsha and Leaflet, which changes the intellectual character of the modern right. And what's really interesting is it does it in a way where Juju and Powder especially. Juju's less political, like she'll spout off on stuff and I love it, but yeah, Powder goes fucking wild, man. Stuff happened in Germany is happening in the USA, yes, and the same people are doing it too. Like they came over after the German stuff. Don't see as much of an equivalent on the left. And the left, you have a bunch of female and trans influencers. In terms of male influencers that approach things from a masculine perspective, the only one I can think of is Hassan.
Wait, what?
A bunch of female.
Wait, what?
Where you don't see as much of an equivalent on the left. And the left, you have a bunch
of... Oh, he's talking on the left. Okay, I thought he was saying he was the only one, like Hassan was the only one coming at it from a male perspective in general, but it was on the left. Okay, I was gonna fucking spin out.
In terms of male influencers that approach things
on the left,
perspective, the only one I can think of is Hassan.
I don't think of it as particularly masculine, but yes, by left wing. I'm just trying to think who else could you say on the left is coming at it from a masculine perspective? Because yeah, it might actually be Hassan. Like I could just stay here and think about it for a while, and I don't think I'd have a better answer. Please watch 10M. I don't know what you mean. What's that? None that big? Yeah, that's for sure. I'm just trying to think, like, who are other... I mean, Cenk Uygur, Young Turks. I don't think he's particularly masculine either, but like he gets angry and shit like that. Like I'm just trying... Who else on the left? None of it is Hassan. All the others are smaller, too soy. Yeah, I'm not thinking. I'm also not in the space, so I'm not gonna know all the people. But yeah, I'm not thinking anyone. Say fuck, maybe it is just Hassan. All right, shit, that's depressing.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess I could see that.
I probably won't get to it today, and where'd you send it? On Discord or something like that? Yeah, if I can find wherever you sent it to me, I will. I'll look that up.
And Hassan's completely disingenuous and cruel, like the dog shocking thing and everything like that. So I think that he literally just a thirst trap influencer.
I don't know. I mean, that would be true if the majority of his audience is female, and I haven't ever looked into the
Okay. Did you ever get around to your first video, by the way? Probably no. In chat. It probably ate the link. That won't work. I have my Discord pinned. You can jump over into my Discord and drop it there. Eustace is no. We're a bit behind on some of that stuff. But yeah, jump over into Discord, Affinity.
Definitely majority female.
It is.
Yeah.
I guess I would have thought, because I watch a ton of left.
Also, Autastic, I think you have multiple channels too, like because you were mentioning videos that weren't on your channel. So yeah, if you have other stuff to link me, I'll try to catch up. Feel free to repost too. I'm slow. I am.
Focused or politically affiliated YouTubers who have 90+% female audiences, if not like 98% female audiences.
There's
And-
who
Any male YouTubers who have 90+% female audiences?
Yes,
'Cause that's
absolutely.
Which one
Absolutely.
who are you thinking of?
Yeah.
I mean, a bunch. Philip DeFranco.
There no. What? You can see mostly females following Hassan? I don't think so. It's not like, busy. I've been like I've had a lot. I mean, I guess that's the same as being busy, that I've had a lot going on. But yeah, I mean, I've just had a lot of tech issues. So it's not exactly that I'm busy, it's that I'm kind of fighting an uphill battle. Big stuff on your plate. You're a nobody. It's not about being a nobody. Like I try to see things that look interesting, and some of your stuff did look interesting. But yeah, if you do have like an alternate channel, link that as well. Like again, feel free to repost. I'll go through the stream suggestions and stuff. Yeah, I need to catch up on that. There's been a bunch of big stuff I want to do too. Men really follow Hassan? Do men really follow Hassan? Yes. Oh, everything is on this channel? Weird. I thought you mentioned a different thing. Okay, you sent it? All right, I'll check it out later.
is probably the most well-known one. I watch his news recaps.
There's no way Philip DeFranco is 98% or even 90% female, right? He's so
understanding.
There's no way. Look, let me grok it again. Again, I know that's not 100%, but like there's no way.
Default take to like whatever's happening might be. Yeah, Hassan is different, and I don't personally see how he appeals to female audiences. So if there is anyone who's female and leftist and watching them, not that I imagine them to be here, please explain this to me if this is a thing in the comments.
No, like actually,
know.
like send us an email because
Yeah, Philip DeFranco is what she dropped. And Grok says Hassan is roughly 70% male. Yeah, I'd believe it. Again, it's not something that really appeals to a lot of women.
we might miss it if it's in the comments. Like, I'd actually be interested to know why somebody would watch Hassan. Like, I've tried his streams and they're really boring.
Well, I mean, I think for the same reason why I struggle sometimes with
Really boring. Again, like if you're invested in the politics, like I don't like Hassan, but I can see why people would watch him. Like if you want a leftist perspective and he gets angry about things, like if like there's passion there, like I can see the appeal. Like if you agree with his opinions and want to get angry at the same stuff, you'd watch Hassan. Like that's fine. Okay, 2012. I'm not seeing much recent stuff, but again, you can never trust AI or whatever. I say this as a big fan of AI art, but that's what I like about AI is the art tools. But yeah, 2012 he was 67, so basically 70%, 67. But yeah, he was basically Philip DeFranco here. It was 70%. Boys and men. Whoa, 13 through 34 too. That's pretty young. But yeah, predominantly male. So like 70%. So 30% women, not 98% women, not 90% women. So yeah, I don't know. She's wrong. You watch Hassan because you want to know what Asmongold is doing? That's pretty funny. He has a good voice. I don't know. I don't listen to enough Hassan to know if he has a good voice or not. Hassan, he's passionate about something he's been manipulated and quangoing about. Again, I'm not saying Hassan is good. I'm just saying I get the appeal. Like if that belief system is what you want echoed to you, he's one of the big ones there.
Streams of just pearly things. There's a lot of dead space. There's a lot of just mental fatigue experienced by the streamer that you
do like Asmongold and Tectone. Dude, they're so fun. Again, there's plenty of things I disagree with Asmongold on, but I like his attitude. I like his confidence and not give a fuck attitude. And Tectone's just based as hell. I love Tectone.
weirdly don't see with Asmongold. Like he's got a lot of mental endurance to be able to keep even on
Asmongold never seems fatigued. He does have, well, you know where he built that mental endurance was like 10-hour WoW raids.
Wow. Yeah. That's it.
I think I'm thinking here of like Destiny. Like Destiny, I've listened to some of his content, and he at least appears to be trying to be intellectually serious. Like,
yeah.
Oh, okay. Destiny used to be more intellectually serious, if you want to put it that way. I think he's fucking spun out big time. Like he lost his way in a big way, big way, and is now just kind of a joke. Destiny is an insane person. Honestly, in some ways worse than Hassan. Like Hassan has said some absolutely atrocious stuff, but he doesn't seem as unstable. Like, because I think part of it is I almost said Asmongold. Hassan plays it up. Like I think he's, I hate to use the phrase since we're always talking about like what it means or whatever, and it's so often misused. I think Hassan is a true believer, but also to some extent a grifter. Like he's arrogant and will play that up. Like he wants his name out there, so Hassan is going to project Hassanness, and it's not always genuine. Destiny is an actual insane person. Like Destiny has gone off the deep end on a lot of this shit. Like it's the same sort of thing. Some of that's playing it up because he wants his brand out there too. But yeah, honestly, Hassan is a bigger creator, a bigger name, bigger target of hate. I think Destiny might be worse. Destiny is unhinged. Destiny fucked his entire life up, can't face accountability, so he wants to burn everything down. Yeah. Andrew Wilson deconstructed how Destiny argues perfectly. They're all retard and yes, grifter. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
hey, Delta Wolf. Yeah.
And Hannah Pearl Davis have dead air, whereas I haven't really seen that with Destiny. I haven't really seen that with Nick Fuentes. I haven't really seen that with Asmongold. Maybe in their live streams, you know, because we typically view cut down versions of their content. They show up, but
Hannah Pearl Davis has dead air in her streams, but not on her show. Her show, because her show's like 5 people or whatever, you know, when she does it.
That helps.
But subscriber, by the way, she's a subscriber of ours. So,
speaking of name dropping,
if she's watching this, but you're always welcome to come on the show. By the way, if you ever want to come on, we'd love to have you. We lost a way to contact you when you got kicked off of Instagram, so sorry about that. But
by the way, Leaflet and Kirsha, you're always welcome on my show too. Just saying.
Anyway, what was the final point I wanted to make here? Because
that is a real offer too, unsurprisingly.
Interesting. It's been a fascinating change in the right, and it has really consolidated the nerd Gamergate faction.
I'm for it.
It really helps us. Like
this is also over the place.
All this female energy, like in our spaces and stuff like that. We don't
save your pitch for side scrollers. Yeah, that too. They will come. Oh yeah, we got them. No, I don't know.
want all this nerd.
We don't need this female energy. Like I said, whether you like it or not, you are going to want some level of female energy, and I think it is important to get the older, more experienced voices in there, because again, you do want that. You do have to appeal to the younger male audience, and although they will gravitate to strong male creators as well, you do need the female aspect as well. And I think that is probably the takeaway from this video, which has been going on a long time at this point. Is I think it's interesting. I had not considered the age factor of that. That is the most interesting hack here is that you get more experienced women into positions of influence, when before it was like the 19-year-old know nothing people who are easily influenced. Like that used to be the only people you could get, women you could get into those positions, and now you can get people who actually know what the shit they're talking about, and VTubing did that. So that is a very, very, very fascinating point. So are you going on side scrollers? Yes.
Female energy, like in our spaces and stuff like that. We don't want all this nerd.
We need based females to convert more females, especially the younger generation. Very true, very true. And the same goes for like various races and stuff like that. Like we do need based Black people to improve Black people, and we need based Indians to improve Indians or whatever, and based whatever. We need the based groups. If we're gonna do any of that stuff.
Energy, right? Like, okay, first of all, the nerds have that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that all that identitarian nonsense has that level of influence. It'd be better if you could just be like, oh nope, we're colorblind or whatever. But like, if you want to reach Black people, a Black voice is going to be more powerful than a white voice or any of that. And likewise, a based Hispanic voice is going to be more able to reach out to Hispanic people. You had a 20-year-old virgin go off on you for saying she has the highest value in the sexual marketplace. Interesting. Started to nod off, going to bed. All right, I'll catch you later, Nicola. Do we have any confirmed non-whites in Skybros? Just curious what the demographic is. Bapella is an Indian dude, I think. Other than that, I don't know. That's just the first one that pops to mind. Silas's wife is, I believe, half Black or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And are you talking the Skybros community, like the broader community, or the Skybros cameos? Because I know we have some other people too. We sure do have non-whites. Yes.
Secondly, women watch this stuff too. You don't want women, right-wing women, to be influenced to be nerdier, right? And
you don't think most even care on the group demo? Yeah, that is also true.
Finally, to win on a
does it matter? Kind of, but I also like that people don't care that it matters. It's our content that matters. Exactly. Like we could break it down or whatever. Play Astro. Oh, yeah. Play Astro has a Black avatar, so he might be Black or something like that. I'll pull it up here because it's fucking funny.
We have to win with both men and women.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Being able to moderate the right energy and ideas to not be reflexively anti-woman is something that is going to benefit the right woman. And
Queen is a chick, yes, obviously.
In the stream, right? Like this is, I don't know how much of our influencers watch other women.
There we go. It was right near the top, so I found it pretty easily. This is a trend. IRL versus VTuber, and this is Bapella's contribution. Dude, I fucking love it. Oh, I fucking love it. Bloops thingy, yeah. Yep. Pretty dang cute. All right. But yeah, I just had to pull that up because I fucking love that. Dude, I've seen Bapella mind break a couple of people when they first hear his voice. It's hilarious. Dude, he's got such a fucking deep voice. Bapella voice reveals are something else. I fucking love to see that shit.
I don't know how much of our influencers watch other women.
Yeah, I don't know either. I would be curious to know.
Do you have any thoughts on this, Simone, before we wrap it up?
I think it's a great development. I think that yeah, there are a lot of just visual elements of people that I think unfairly disqualify them from being taken seriously, and that happens more to women than to men, which is
yes. As much as we have the Bapella is awesome. As much as we have the like get accused of the anti-woman bias or something like that, it is very much true. It is very much true. That's one of the major advantages. Slightly different topic from here. Okay. Maybe we end the video here and then finish it up then, because I like to finish things up, but maybe we break the video here and then continue. But yeah, as much as actually we'll just save that for the next video. If we're gonna break here. All right. I'll take chat's advice here. We're gonna break this here and come back with the next bit. But yeah, thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe over there. I'll drop that in chat as well. Thank you. Peace.